Well, I think being close to the city, San Francisco, my son asked me, what is the city? I said, oh, I failed because he didn't know what the city was, San Francisco. Um, Going there to see my grandparents every week. And I'm really glad, I was thinking about this morning, that I did. Being that close to a big city, I got to see so much. A friend reminded me, going into, my grandparents lived sort of near the Haight-Ashbury, but we would ask to go through, we called it hippie land, because we wanted to see the interesting people that were there. At that time in the 60s, there were a lot of what we called hippies, and we thought it was just so great and awesome. And then later on, my grandparents lived right near the Castro, so there was at that time there was a big influx of gay, I think there were some females, but mostly males. So we thought that was the greatest because that was new to us. And I distinctly remember seeing a guy, to this day, I could see his face. I thought he was really cool. He had on a blue sequin shirt tied here, long hair, and the beautiful blue eyeshadow. And I was just fascinated. So we would always, after the Haight-Ashbury kind of died down, we got to go to the Castro and see a lot of interesting folks down there. So I feel that that kind of shaped me as a person. I like different groups. I think they're so interesting. I would like to do what you're doing. I'd rather I don't mind being interviewed, but I'd like to be the person interviewing other people because I want to know about other people and what they're doing. And that's why I thought this project was great, because everyone has a story. And so I liked going to the city a lot as a child. It was much more diverse than Petaluma. Petaluma was kind of diverse for the smallness of it, but when I went to San Francisco, I got to see a lot of different people, so that was great. Well, we grew up in the 60s and the 70s, so now everybody considers, well, they like the 80s too, a kind of interesting time. I like that, before that we used to play tag a lot and stay outside, and, TV was kind of not really new, but my mom didn't have TV until she was 10, and so my parents were kind of very interested in TV, and we were too, but we were still outside a lot. And my mom stayed home, and my dad worked a lot. And I really didn't realize, I remember my first 40-hour week, I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, now I know what you were doing all this time. That was really difficult. I could barely, all those years of school and doing jobs and doing homework is not the same as going to a 40-hour week job. It was like, wow. And usually more. Nobody works 40 hours anymore. So it was fun. I really liked, we had a whole neighborhood in Petaluma with all kids the same age, like 3 or 4 kids my age, 3 or 4 kids 2 years older. There was just so many kids to play with. And I'm still friends with them now. I mean, some of us are very, very close. So I think it was fun. I liked growing up in that era. I knew I wanted to go to college, straight shot. I knew. There's a lot, that's what I like about Facebook now. When I look on Facebook now, I mean, some of us went to college, and it's funny how college doesn't always mean, monetary gains. And some people that didn't go are doing very well. But there wasn't a lot of us that were going, but I think, we're all successful in our own right. But for whatever reason, I knew that I wanted to go to college. And it wasn't, my dad went to the JC, but then he said, he was working all different shifts, going to the JC, and my brother said, how come you never go to my soccer games? So he got his AA and then he stopped, and he really wanted to get his degree. And I think that seeing him studying all the time, that must have affected me, but I knew for sure that I wanted to go. It was never a doubt. Well, I guess I'm thinking politically, I really can't believe that people can't try to make compromises anymore. Because I'm one party and I have friends that are another party, and I'm like, we joke about it, we laugh about it, we both agree on a lot of things. So I guess more understanding of each other and each other's cultures and politics. Why is there so much divisiveness? Obviously, they're not getting anything done, politically because of all this fighting. So I guess would be more understanding of differences, and as it was in the I mean, of course, there was things that weren't good in the old days, but I remember in the older political days, they would shake hands and they would argue all day in Congress and then, go out to dinner. So I wish there was more understanding. And you see it on Facebook. I'm like, people write these rants and I'm like, oh, wow, that's just why, try to be more understanding. I guess because I'm always fascinated by other cultures and not agreeing with everything that, of course, that other countries do, like North Korea, I'm thinking right now. But, just trying to understand different cultures and politically different people. I wish that would be more happening today.
My name is Jennifer Sanchez.
My name is Lorena Yanez.
I'm Antonio Cardenas.